Okay. Me and mom do stuff during lunch. But after that, I'll take the other thank you. And I want to spend the night straight. Now, trying to get to the day, I was tired. I was awful. I had to sleep. It's been a long time, about a month since I was so I had to work this week and I got into I would say this was like a really good week overall. Like getting good routine, highlighting things, finding things, reviewing, adding them all. I feel like really pay attention to like correcting something, recording it, or versus what it seems fun. So we actually put something um use or working on because like I feel weird. I don't know like how still people so used to having extra food like this. That makes sense. And I just still cool. Don't get me wrong. But like totally cool. You know? So my mom and my friends so that's one thing. Really feel like because I know it's street. I don't like to stream during the day unless I'm like really as in classes. Or like I'd rather stream than I'd rather sleep. Cause like she's like very small and like chatting. We need to chat. Like that was my thing. This was listening to the news part. She had I don't know if it's weird. There was like 20 questions. Questions like and so I kind of want to keep watching. And so I asked her the question. Where did she laugh? Or what did she see? Um, I was sometimes um, with the really good thing that and she watched the not my first video, but she watched the video today, and then another thing I had on this week as a budgeting for groceries, write it down, figure out the best way to stream, write that down. Um, figuring out like honestly like which retailers are on sale. Like sometimes I get to the people that say I can have something, but then that runs into well, I told my mom, you know, the life thing. So those are things I actually do honestly, and I can all how to all how to and the first time I'm saying top to bottom is nice because like I have extras. And now, if you're new here and listening slowly, but we usually eat in every day we do the same home with extra balloons. My mom, way back then, we practiced over 20 years. That was like graduating and then also to be a really social. And we also need a few pages out of the book, right? So I wear glasses. I don't have the right glasses, so I can and then the way we wrap up the stream, then we'll grab our journal, and then we'll journal through. So make sure you guys like have a pen, a piece of white. I have some markers right here, so we can wrap together. A lot of times, like, I find it very nice to like people, but silence is one. Even that's the other reason why we have students. You don't always have to do it with everything. And then for me, um, I, this week I was talking to a coworker, and she asked me, like, well, this is a two-part thing. So one of them asked me, what's like my favorite song of music? And I said, oh, I like everything. There's nights I'm listening to techno, I listen to hip hop, rap, pop. If it's a country song, if it's folk, bluegrass, jazz, I don't care. If it's classic, I'm listening to it, right? But she's like, that doesn't tell me what your favorite music is. I was like, okay, believe it or not, I love music with no words. Like, okay, I know it's out of habit because I'm exercise right now. I've been inside for 15 to 18 years, so it's really easy to listen and just sleep and to sleep therapy. And you have so like listening to instrumentals just do something to me or for me. You know, it's like you can play a 3 hour loop or you can play lo-fi work for a whole day and just nice background music. It's like nice relief music, you know? So I love instrumentals. That's the part. Second part to that is the same day, not even like an hour or two later, this guy actually reached out to me that the vice president of film music to me and say, Mr. President, what's the greatest movie of all time? I was like, Wally? He said, are you far? I was just like, is that it? And then like my colleague who's next to me, she's like, is that? She said, is that in Disney? I was like, yeah, it is. And she's just like, I was like, I told you I like movies without words. She's like, I didn't know this about that. Like, that is a good one. I'm like, yeah, I have this famous enough. I have the ability to sing the words. I feel like you can always remember how someone makes you feel more than what they say. Like, if you say it, I feel like you know, but yeah. But to bring that all back is like, I think it's really nice to do things for yourself, by yourself, but it's also nice that someone else is supporting you on like you doing yourself. So like I do this for me, to be honest. I think it's really beneficial for you for that. Like my mom is really, really big on journaling. I don't even find a notebook and journal. She loves to read. My sisters love to write. I love to write. My brother is already a super visual artist, so he loves to draw. Like that's his jam. Super awesome, by the way. But so the way we wrap up the show is journaling together, and then we journaling when we're working on it. You can, to me, journaling, you can write whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, write whatever you want, write whatever you need, pretend you're living your life as you like to have it. That sounds stupid, but you know what I mean? You can write something really proud of, but it really just, as long as you do it, like, focus on you and your life, you know, I feel like this is dope. You know, obviously reading God's word is amazing. On top of that, just you know, it's nice to hear some other impactful words and words that will help yourself. But honestly, second to God's word, I would say writing out how you feel this week, this month, whatever, purely comes from you. Like no one influence or anything else. It's just you. This is your thoughts. And sometimes you gotta give yourself that space to go, damn, that's something that you know. So anyway, that was your back there, and then I'm trying to think anything else I was gonna like. I'm just honestly asking. This is the first week all year I felt super grateful, thankful, happy, highly appreciative, wonderful, um, not anxious at all, not living in uncertainty. Like that feeling that I have right now, especially, hey, I feel like when you're going through things, it's so hard to be grateful because you're going through things. And I feel like I fucking going through, I throughout everything that's happening this year. I lost friends, I lost love, I lost relationships overall, in many different spaces of places. But ultimately, I'm safe, and I'm safe to peace. I have a beautiful situation with God, with my mom, my daughter, and all these movie way. It's kind of really outside things that are just too fast and like the like from house, like first involving the things that I just create. Like there's just so many things to feel good about right now. And like I just feel like there's really more. Like that kind of like I don't this one too. And more. You deserve the real shot you deserve to heal. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel healthy. You deserve to feel protected. You deserve everything everything is better from life. You have to really do especially for and like everything may not be perfect, but I feel like anything that is perfect. So anyway, let's get into it. And also too, heads up, I've been having different streaming formats. I usually stream from my phone directly, and like the last week or so, I've been streaming from my computer. I'm gonna cut that out because I can see that like some things is changing or working out. So I'll be back streaming like on the phone, and like it gives me like old school internet vibe. What is the girl's name that she used to read all like the fan mail on the wall? Y'all know this, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I see it. And then you do it. But anyways, let's start off with our nurse three, Sally. So if you think you're easy, you are. If you think you're not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost as if you won. If you think you will lose, you are last. For our world, we know success is what a person thinks. It's all in the state of mind. Lifestyles will always go to longer or faster speed. They go to the mind and trust in God with other things like the opposite is unknown. So, take care of it. My favorite part of that is trusting God with other things. Right. Daily devotional. This one is made by Joyce Myers, the popular woman. This was my mom's book, and I just gave it to me. Okay, and we have 365 days. So we're going to go to November 23rd. 23rd. Ooh, this one's about anger. This one's about anger. Somebody angry out there? You can like that's this. This letter is I be afraid. I say, no, they ain't gonna the house because I'm gonna wait. Sometimes, but you know, it's a little better way to because I know you know just that nobody knows what he does and what he should you know, like money and it's not business. That's all I'm like, whatever things are like, when you're angry, you're not funny. You're not funny looking at your black rose or your fury or your laugh until the sun goes down. Leave no such room for foothold for the other. Give no opportunity. People working with people. That's what now we get into like real life actions. Okay? We all get angry, but we must be careful to understand why we get angry. Many people become angry when they have a root of insecurity in their life. That lights up their problems. Those who are easily offended because we are insecure. It must be true that critical without context, but not perfect communication. God never tells us to feel angry, but He does give instructions on how to process it. When we stay angry, we open a door for the devil to run all around us. Most of the drowned anger activities in the Christian life can be bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness. People who easily fly into rage always pick up bad at humanity. When your emotions, when our emotions have a complaint, so is our life. Anger makes our mouth work faster than our brain. Instead of saying good things, we are stifling. Staying angry, encountering unkind feelings for others is disobedience. You must realize the stage in your listen. If you don't look at it for what it is, you may be tempted to ignore it. What are you doing to today? I would say, for me, back to like what I was talking about earlier, how me and my daughter was telling this card today, right? She asked me a question, she was in the card, and she was like, who taught you something about yourself? Like, like what is something someone taught you? And I told her, you just taught me to not what. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't really want to be similar with her, but what I was getting at is like, can't can't be the person who's like, I understand this. I'm not. And I can't judge my siblings because I don't know what they do. It's just things that I do that they don't know. You know? And I really remember reading the scripture, like hearing the scripture, I really got to read myself. And there's scripture like where Jesus is talking about like how do you have like on somebody and you have a plan in your own life. You know? And when I read that, I did the first time I read that, I did it a few times, I called my sister and I apologized to her. And our relationship got better. So like she received my apology and but even afterwards there's still things that go on that I may not like, but it's not my place to change it. You know, and I don't know. I'm not mad at it, nor did I want to. You know? So it's like I can share my peace with love and great intention, but I even learned to like not even waste my breath on that. Because people really do it. And it's best to just leave them where they are. So when I talked to my daughter, she asked me, oh, she told me that I need to go to some meetings about that. I go to some meetings about things, whatever that means, and that day, and that means, it's like, yeah. And then she asked me who's somebody that I trust. I said, you. So you know, I trust you. Because I trust people to be people. People want to let you down. That's the type of people. Who want to say things, who want to rub you the wrong way, who you know what? I feel like I trust people always. I'm like, you're right, I'm like, you're wrong. He know what my heart is. He know what I'm. She even asked me like, who do you love to be like? I said like Jesus. I literally said like Jesus. And I'm literally not a person who goes around outside like, oh, this area. I'm not that person. But she asked me, so I told her my truth. Hey, I'm not. I I didn't say what I wanted. You know, like I feel like I'm a pretty good person. I'm, I'm sure I did the right. But anyway, the prayer that wraps it up, right? So, Lord, help me to understand my anger and never let it be the same as my confidence. Mm-hmm. Because this thing said when you're angry, you talk faster than your own mind. makes our mouth, our gases, and our back sick. Have you ever found yourself angry and you literally start getting a bunch of bullshit that's going weak and just saying because you're like doing the conversation? Like, I don't know.
I get so irritated. The speaker took over my microphone. Ah, angry. Thank you for saying something. I literally can't see nothing unless you put it on cap. So I appreciate you so much. No more mustard. I'm a I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna read it all over from the top. I'm gonna read it from the top. Did y'all hear me? Barely, I'm sure. Okay, we're reading this word. It's about anger. Okay? It's about anger. I'm gonna go turn that speaker off. I can't though. I'm not proper. Hold on, let me see. I knew that would happen. I literally turned the mic around. That's okay. Things make sense now. Things are making the sense of it now. Okay. I'm like, I have to turn the camera around. I'm definitely comfortable if you follow me right now. I'm at home. I'm in my bed. Like, man. Okay, anyways. From the top, November 23rd. Damn, y'all didn't even hear the winner's creed. Cause like we some winners over here. I gotta read that to y'all one more time. One more time. Okay. A winner's creed, like I said, been with my mama for over 20 years. It's mine now. Hence the water stains, but we keep it. Okay. So a winner's creed. If you think you are beaten, you are. Catch my breath. We need to rush for nothing. Need not rush for nothing. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you will lose, you are lost. For out in the world, we find success begins with a person's faith. And it's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster hand. They go to the one who trusts in God and always thinks, I can. Okay? There we go. There we go. Okay, I can. Written by author unknown. It literally says author unknown. It doesn't even say anonymous. It literally says author unknown. Okay. My name's Cimonealise. You can call me Cece. I stream daily on Mind, Body, Mommy, Beauty, Self-Care, and more. Okay? All the things. Background, massage therapy, over 10 years. I love to pamper people, but new focus is just being a mom. I started off one way, motherhood found me. Okay? Mind, the books. Body, my body work. Mommy, self-explanatory. So if you like that, like it. If you care, share. And subscribe if it's a vibe. Okay? Cimonealise, call me CC, CICI, capital C's on me, please. And thank you. That's my name, not yours. That's why I like to spell it. Okay. Daily devotional. Let's read it one more again. All right. Thank you again, you guys, for hanging out with me, spending the night with me in this moment at my good night stream. Again, my name is Cimonealise. I know some people be like, how do you say it? That's how you say it. This is about anger. Okay, you ready? Oh, and if you want me to see your comments, please be like no more mustard and type them in all caps, because literally, even with glasses, I did not see anybody. And most of y'all were telling me that my audio was off and I didn't catch it because the eyes of it all. My eyes might can't see, but my sense of touch is crazy, hence why I massage. Anyways, anger. You ready? Okay. When angry, do not sin. Do not ever let your wrath, your exasperation, your fury, your indignation last until the sun goes down. Leave no such room or foothold for the devil. Give no opportunity to him. Ephesians 4:26 through 27. All right, that's the scripture. Then we get into like life application. You ready? Okay, let's do it together. We all get angry, but we must be careful to understand why we're angry. Many people who become frequently angry have a root of insecurity in their lives that wipes out their confidence. Those who are easily offended and touchy are insecure. They must be treated well to feel good about themselves, and if not, they get angry. God never tells us not to feel anger, but he does give us instructions on how we process our anger. When we stay angry, we open a door for the devil to work in our lives. Most of the ground gained by Satan in the Christian's life is gained through bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness. People who easily fly into rage always make a bad landing. When our emotions are out of control, so is our life. Anger makes our mouth work faster than our mind. We end up saying and doing things we're sorry for later. Staying angry and harboring unkind feelings towards others is disobedience. We must realize sustained anger is sin. If we don't look at it for what it is, we may be tempted to hang on to it. What are you hanging on to today? Okay, so I was using an example of like my siblings because we don't always get along, and I was saying earlier, there's things that they do that I don't like, and there's things that they do that I do that I'm sure they cannot stand. And I was touching on earlier too that my daughter and I was playing this card game. That's how we started the day off. She came in my room today. She brought like these cards. She gave me 10, she took 10, and it had these really dope questions. I don't know if I bought this or it came from Chick-fil-A. Either way, I did buy it, but it was really cool. And some of the questions she asked me was like, um, she asked me like, who's someone you trust? And I said, Jesus. And then she asked me what's something somebody taught you? And I was like, Jesus taught me how not to judge people, right? Because I was like beefing with my little sister, and not beefing for real, but like she got a mouth on her. She got a mouth on her. And but she's still young, so it's like the things she says, it's different to me. How do I describe it? It's like the things she says sometimes, it's not even what she's saying, it's literally her intention. And that's the part that can hurt sometimes. And I learned not to take what she says personal. Also, though, understand I'm like, it hurts when you know your sibling is trying to like actually push you away. So it's like, I feel you push me away, but you're using this way to do it. But it's like, again, it's not even what she's saying or even how she's saying it. It's like her intention is like, away from me. And I learned not to judge her because like she's still growing, and as all of us are. And I learned that when I was reading God's word, like specifically when Jesus was talking about like, how dare you judge somebody when you got a plank in your own eye, and I was just like, oh, okay. So I called her and I apologized for like, judging her on her choices and stuff like that. Because who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? I was a hot ass mess before, still evolving out of my mess. So like, I felt like that was something I learned and I applied to, but I used to be so angry at the fact that like, how dare you want to push me out your life? Like, I'm a good person. Like, that's how I would think. But honestly, now I'd be like, hey, I love you. I pray for you. See me when you want to see me. You know? Arms are open. Always and forever. right? And then something else too that I used to be angry about, like my daughter's father. Let's not to get deep into that, but like when he said that your mouth will move faster when you're in anger, like faster than your mind, bro. Literally, I would. That's the other reason why I had to like remove myself from a lot of things, because when you know like you and another person are not in agreement, it's hard to have a conversation with a person that you, it almost felt like I had to, but then it came to a point that I didn't have to. Like, I'm like, I don't have to do this. Like, I don't have to talk to this person. I choose to. I put myself through these things. And so when I would be in the situations, I would be doing the stupidest shit. I'd be so angry. I forget my car is a push start. I'll hit the push start the car is already running. Now my point is gone. I turned my car off. Now I look stupid and stuck. Like I would just be doing stuff so fast and quick and just out of frustration. I would lock myself out my house, thinking like just thinking I'm storming off. My door was already unlocked. What are you doing? Like what are you doing? Like you get what I'm saying? Just doing stupid shit, trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. Being angry is not worth it. And like how it said, like the way that anger can show up is being bitter, resentment, and unforgiveness. I would say I had more like unforgiveness, like even down to like my own father. I had to like really, really, and I don't know, if you're black, I'm sure you can identify with this in certain ways. A lot of things as far as like our households, there's a lot of one parent households, there are a lot of two parent households. But I come from a generation where it's very common to have a one parent household, okay? And I feel like with my dad, I used to be so upset with him all the time. Just like he came from a two-parent household. Parents was married for over 50, 60 years. So it did not click to me. I'm like, how come you watch your parents stay married and I gotta have the broken home? The fuck is that? Like I was so upset with him. And then one year, I would say about like 3 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I'm 31, and I literally had to sit with myself. I was listening to like this meditation video, and I was talking earlier about how I like a lot of things that are like silent and like, feeds me, if you will. And I used to I really had this resentment and unforgiveness towards my father. And I never looked at him as a person. I always looked at him as my father, right? But he only been a father as long as I've been his child, right? So I had to really like sit with the reality that like he was once a child, right? In the meditation video, I forget what it was. I've never heard it again. I don't know how it landed on my page, if you will, but this is way before TikTok, before I ever downloaded a TikTok. And basically, I had to envision him as a child. And I actually have like a photo of my father from when he was like a baby. My daughter looked like him, which was really crazy. But like when I envisioned him as a baby, and then actually trying to picture what he looked like growing up, and then knowing who my grandfather is, right? I was like, oh, he's just a misled kid. Like, no kid actually sucks until like the adults start sprinkling bullshit on them. You know what I mean? So like I know he loves his dad. Like he loves his dad's dirty socks. I love my grandfather too. But like that's his father. And he loves his father so much. He models himself after his father. And my grandfather comes from a different generation with different laws, different rules, different expectations on how women are meant to be seen and heard and all the things, right? So like I look at my father now, I may not agree with a lot of the things on how he handled them, because after a certain point in time, when you know better, you do better. But when you have somebody telling you the wrongs are right, like when you are If someone is telling you as an adult the things that you are doing wrong, and they are your leadership and they're constantly reaffirming your wrongs as they are rights, there ain't shit I can say as his kid. You know what I mean? So I had to like really like come to terms with that. So rather than forgiving him for the wrongs he done to me or caused me, as far as like, you know, being an absent father or whatever, like he's never actually like harmed me like physically, just mental emotional damage, you know, the use. And I really just like, you know what, I forgive you, because you don't even know you, and there's no conversation you could ever have with him because he loves his father. There's nothing I could ever say to be like, hey, A, B, and C, B, C, and D, do you see what I'm saying? Absolutely fucking not. So rather than trying to like have a conversation saying I forgive you, I just went ahead and forgave him on my own. And when I tell you, I felt so much better. So much better. I feel like that released me out of so many mental paradigms that I was stuck in just because I did not forgive this one man. And resentment. I don't think I resent anybody in this world anymore. And same thing that I applied to him, I had to apply to my daughter's father. I may not like him very much, but I forgive him because I also understand he was not nurtured properly. Like I come from a household where my mother nurtured me. Some may even think overwatered, even. But I come from a healthy household to me, like a loving household. Like my mom didn't come from a household where like people were loving and hugging and kissing and all that stuff. And my daughter even said today, she's like, one of her favorite things about life, her life, is that her family gives her hugs and kisses all the time. And I was like, oh, she's like, I love how my family hugs me and kisses me. It makes me so happy. And I was like, oh, but my mom could never say that. But she poured into me, and now my daughter's receiving that love that she poured into me. You get what I'm saying? Trickle down effect. But my daughter's father didn't have that. So like the way he handles things and stuff like that, I just like, you're just malnourished. I'm sorry, respectfully though. You know what I mean? And not to judge, cause like, who am I to judge? But I have so much anger and resentment towards that person. So I'm saying that because we're reading the anger part in our devotional right now. So let's get to the prayer part, all right? Lord, help me understand my anger to never let it be sustained and to destroy my confidence. May I be quick to forgive others and keep my life in control. Amen. I'm going to read it 2 more times for you if you need this prayer for yourself, okay? Lord, help me to understand my anger and to never let it be sustained and destroy my confidence. May I be quick to forgive others and keep my life in control. Amen. And then one last time for the people in the back, if you didn't hear it. Pardon me. Lord, help me to understand my anger and to never let it be sustained and destroy my confidence. May I be quick to forgive others and keep my life in control. Amen. King Grayson said my dad was dead and I used to be mad at him. How did you get over that? Or how did you work through that? Because you said used to, King. I'm curious. Where did I put my glasses at, y'all? Because we gotta read. Can't really be showing my business like that. Where'd my glasses go? Did they fall? No. Ooh. Shiitake. Y'all, where'd it go? Okay, my back it up. Nope, that's my charger. Uh-oh. Oh, trying to figure this out. They're on my head. Why didn't you say anything, chat? Y'all saw me scrambling for my glasses and they on my head. Okay. We're gonna read a couple pages, just a couple. of the habits of highly effective people, powerful lessons in personal change. If you're into that, hang out. Okay. You literally only read like a couple pages because I like to just stop when it gets like a new principle. Okay. All right. The 7 habits of highly effective people embody many things. The power paradigms was labeled. We're on page 31, inside and out. Okay. We'll read just a little bit. It says the 7 habits of highly effective people embody many of the fundamental principles of human effectiveness. These habits are basic, they are primary. They respect the internalization of correct principles upon which enduring happiness and success are based. But before we can really understand these 7 habits, we need to understand our own paradigms and how to make a paradigm shift. Both the character ethic and the personality ethic are examples of social paradigms. The word paradigm come from the Greek. It was originally a scientific term and is more commonly used today to mean a model, theory, perception, assumption, or frame of reference. In more general sense, it's a way we see the world, not in terms of our visual sense of sight, but in terms of our perceiving, understanding, interpreting. Suppose you wanted to arrive. Ooh, for our purposes, a simple way to understand paradigms is to see them as maps. We all know we all know the map is not the territory. A map is simply an explanation of certain aspects of the territory. That's exactly what a paradigm is. It's a theory, an explanation, or model of something else. Suppose you wanted to arrive at a specific location and control in central Chicago. A street map of the city would be a great help to you in reaching your destination, but suppose you were given the wrong map. Through the printing error, the map labeled Chicago was actually a map of Detroit. Can you imagine the frustration, the ineffectiveness of trying to reach your destination? You might work on your behavior. You could try harder to be more diligent, double your speed, but your efforts will only succeed in getting you to the wrong place faster. You might work on your attitude. You could think more positively. You still wouldn't get to the right place, but perhaps you wouldn't care. Your attitude would be so positive you'd be happy wherever you were. The point is, you still would be lost. The fundamental problem has nothing to do with your behavior or your attitude. It has everything to do with having a wrong map. If you have the right map of Chicago, the diligence becomes important. And when you encounter frustrating obstacles along the way, then attitude can make a real difference. But the first and most important requirement is the accuracy of the map. Okay. Each of us has many, many maps in our head, which can be divided into 2 main categories: maps of the way things are, or the realities, and maps of the way things should be, or our values, We interpret everything we experience through these mental maps. We seldom question their accuracy. We're usually even unaware that we have them. We simply assume that the way we see things is the way they really are, or the way they should be. And our attitudes and behaviors grow out of these assumptions. The way we see things is the source of the way we think and the way we act. Before going any further, I invite you to have an intellectual and emotional experience. Take a few seconds and just look at the picture on the opposite page. We all know her. Don't you see her? Just giving classy. Now look at the picture on page 34 and carefully describe what you see. Do you see a woman? How old would you say she is? I give her like late 20s, maybe even young 20s. How old would you say she is? What does she look like? She look classy. What is she wearing? She wearing pearls. She got a little headscarf, you know. Um, and what kind of roles do you see her? I can see her like as an actress. I can see her like as a singer. I feel like she might not even be working. She might be a housewife. This is the things I see. And what kind of roles do you see her? You probably would describe the woman in the second picture to be like 25 years old, very lovely, rather fashionable, with a petite nose and demure presence. If you were a single man, you might like to take her out. If you were retailing, you might hire her as a fashion model. But if I were to tell you that you're wrong, what if I said this picture is a woman in her 60s or 70s who looks sad? I can't see the sad part. Has a huge nose. It's still hard for me to see. Has a huge nose and certainly no model. She's someone you probably would help across the street. Who's right? Look at the picture again. Can you see the old woman? If you can't keep trying, can you see her big hook nose? It's weird. I can kind of see it, but then I kind of don't. She's someone you, what's it called? Can you see the old woman? If you can't keep trying, can you see her big hook nose, her shawl? I can't help but to see the woman, y'all. Who, if you and I were talking face to face, we could discuss the picture. You could describe what you see to me. Do y'all see the big hook nose? I kind of do, but then again, I still can't see the rest of the face. Oh wait, I think I can through my phone, but I don't see it on my own. Okay. Um, let's see. Because we can't do that, turn to page 53 and study the picture there and then look at this picture again. Okay, page 53. Doo-doo-doo. That's kind of dope that the book is telling you to turn to a different page. Oh, so this is what I see for sure, but this is what it actually is a picture of. Huh. I don't see her. Okay. Can you see the old woman now? It's important that you see her before you continue reading. I first encountered this exercise many years ago at the Harvard Business School. The instructor was using it to demonstrate clearly. Okay, I can see her more in this photo, but I still see the lady. I still see the elegance of it all. And eloquently, that two people can see the same thing, disagree, and yet both be right. It's not logical, it's psychological. He brought into the room a stack of large cards, half of which had the image of the young woman you saw on page 33, and the other half of which had the image of the old woman on page 53. He passed them out to the class, the picture of the young woman to one side of the room and the picture of the old woman in the other. Pardon. I ate dinner before I came up here. He asked us to look at the cards, concentrate on them for about 10 seconds, and then pass them back in. He then he then projected upon the screen the picture you saw on page 34. Combining both images, he asked the class to describe what they saw. Almost every person in the class who had the first seen the young woman's image on the card saw the young woman in the picture. And almost every person who had first seen the old woman's image on the card saw an old woman in the picture. The professor then asked one student to explain what he saw to the student on the opposite side of the room. As they talked back and forth, communication problems flared up. What do you mean, old lady? She couldn't be more than 20 or 22 years old. Oh, come on, you have to be joking. She's 70. Could be pushing 80. What's the matter with you? Are you blind? This lady is young, good looking. I like to take her out. She's lovely. Lovely. She's an old bag. The arguments went back and forth, each person of admit sure and adamant in his or her position. All of this occurred in spite of one exceedingly important advantage the students had. Most of them knew early in the demonstration the other point of view did in fact exist, something many of us would never admit. Nevertheless, at first, only a few students really tried to see the picture from the another frame of reference. After a period of futile communication, one student went up to the screen and pointed to the line on the drawing. There is the young woman's necklace. The other one said, no, that is the old woman's mouth. Carefully, they began to calmly discuss specific points of difference, and finally, one student and the other experienced sudden recognition when the images of both came into focus. Through continued calm and respectful and specific communication, each of us in the room was finally able to see the other point of view. But when he looked away and then back, most of us would immediately see the image we've been conditioned to see. In the 10-second period of time, I frequently use this perception demonstration in working with people and organizations because it yields so many deep insights into both personal and interpersonal effectiveness. It shows first of all our how powerfully conditioning affects our perceptions, our paradigms. If 10 seconds can have that kind of impact on the way we see things, what about the conditioning of a lifetime? The influences in our lives, family, school, church, work, environment, friends, associates, and current social paradigms, such as the personality ethic, all have made their silent, unconscious impact on us and help shape our frame of reference and our paradigms. Our maps, it also shows that these paradigms are the source of our attitudes and behaviors. We cannot act with integrity outside of them. We simply cannot maintain wholeness if we talk and walk differently than we see. If you are among the 90% who typically see the young woman in the composite picture when conditioned to do so, you undoubtedly found it difficult to think in terms of having to help her cross the street. Both your attitude about her and your behavior toward her had to be congruent with the way you saw her. This brings into focus one of the basic flaws of personality ethic. To try to change outward attitudes and behaviors does very little good in the long run. If we fail to examine the basic paradigms from which those attitudes and behaviors flow, the perception demonstration also shows how powerfully our paradigms affect the way we interact with other people. As clearly and objectively as we think we see things, we begin to realize that then others others see them differently from their own apparently equal, clear and objective point of view. Where we stand depends on where we sit. Okay? Each of us tends to think we see things as they are, that we are objective. But this is not the case. We see the world not as it is, but as we are, or as we are conditioned to see it. When we open our mouths to describe what we see, we in effect describe ourselves, our perceptions, our paradigms. When other people disagree with our perceptions, when other people disagree with us, we immediately think something is wrong with them. But as the demonstration shows, sincere, clear headed people see things differently, each looking through the unique lens of experience. This does not mean that there are no facts. In the demonstration, two individuals who initially have been influenced by different conditioning pictures look at the third picture together. They are now both looking at the same identical facts, black lines and white spaces, and they will both acknowledge these as facts. but each person's interpretation of these facts represents prior experiences, and the facts have no meaning whatsoever. Apart from the interpretation, the more aware we are of our basic paradigms, maps, or assumptions, and the extent to which we have been influenced by our experience, the more we can take responsibility for those paradigms, examine them, test them against reality, listen to others, and be open to their perceptions, thereby getting a larger picture and a far more objective view. Okay, we left off on page 37 of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Not me getting a stuffy nose. I didn't have this at first. Okay. Thoughts, comments, concerns, anyone? Sounds good. Let's journal and call it a night. It is 11:58 p.m. where I am. And I want to journal with you guys. Let's get our stuff off and write down all the things you want to do, be, see, are, inside and out, and then call it a good night. Show up for yourself. Okay. This is the last journal I filled out. So I mean it. Fill it out. Do you, do you, do you. And I'm on to a new one. I'm going to write mine to the side because I don't need y'all all in mine. Okay? Okay? All right, I done did. Okay. All right, I'm gonna read one more thing to you, and then we can call it a night because it is now 12:06 a.m. It's Sunday morning. Okay, this is something that I enjoy. If you get something out of it, you do. If you don't, it's okay because it went over my head the first time. My mind is the center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression, and this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in your past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Therefore, since the divine cannot change its inherent nature, it must operate in the same manner in me. Consequently, in my special world, of which I am the center, it will move forward. It will move forward to produce new conditions always in advance of any that has gone before. Okay. If you got something out of that, if you didn't, that's okay. I'm gonna fold that up, put it up in here, and I'm gonna say, mm, mm, mm. I'm gonna say good night, honey. I love you. Thank you for hanging out with me, spending time with me, writing with me, reading with me, learning with me, all the things. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Again, my name is Cimonealise. I stream daily. I've been streaming since April of this year. Started off with 43 subs, and we're currently at 3,100 plus subs, 3,100 plus subscribers. That's amazing. So, like it if you like it, share if you care, subscribe if it's a vibe, and I hope to see you again until next time. Okay? I love you. Bye. Okay.